On a quiet street somewhere in America lived a man named Daniel. He was a simple man, living alone in a small, tidy house. His life was peaceful, but it was also filled with a profound silence, a silence that often felt heavier than any sound. Every morning, he'd wake up to it, eat his breakfast with it, and carry it with him to work. It was a constant companion, a reminder of his solitude. One rainy evening, as Daniel walked home, the city lights blurred against the wet pavement. The sky was a deep, dark gray, and that's when he saw him. A tiny puppy, huddled and shivering on the sidewalk, all alone in the downpour. The little creature was cold, hungry, and trembling. He had no collar, no owner, no home, just a pair of wide, helpless eyes looking up at a world that had forgotten him. Daniel felt a pull he couldn't explain. He moved slowly, cautiously, not wanting to frighten the little dog. He crouched down, reaching out a gentle hand. The puppy looked up, and in that gaze, Daniel saw a flicker of hope. It was a silent plea, a look that said, "Please, don't leave me here." In that instant, a connection was made, a silent understanding between two lonely souls who had just found each other in the rain. Daniel carefully scooped up the puppy and took him home. He dried the little guy with a soft towel, and the puppy squirmed with what seemed like pure joy. He placed a small bowl of warm food on the floor, and the puppy ate so fast it was as if he had unseen a meal in Daysby, because he probably had Watching him, Daniel felt a smile spread across his face. The first genuine smile in months. From that day forward, the puppy had a home, and he also had a name, Max. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. Max grew from a tiny, shivering ball of fur into a strong, healthy, and playful dog. He got bigger, his bark got deeper, but one thing never changed. No matter how big Max got, his love for Daniel remained constant and pure. Their routine became the rhythm of Daniel's new life. Every morning, Max would walk Daniel to the door, his tail wagging like a metronome, his eyes bright with affection. And every single evening, Max would wait for him, sometimes for hours. He never slept. He never wandered off. He just waited, his gaze fixed on the door. Because for Max, Daniel was his entire world. They spent their weekends playing fetch in the park, their evenings walking the same familiar streets. They shared simple breakfasts and quiet moments on the porch, watching the world go by. These were ordinary moments, the kind that most people take for granted. But for Daniel, they were everything. Max had filled the silence. He had turned loneliness into love. But one day, the familiar rhythm was broken. Daniel came home from work and went straight to bed, feeling unwell. Soon, he became very sick. He couldn't go to work anymore. He could barely get out of bed. The house grew quiet again. But this time, it was a different kind of quiet, a heavy, worried quiet. And this time, Max was there. Max never left his side. He stayed right by Daniel's bed, a furry, loyal guardian day and night. When Daniel slept, Max watched over him, a silent sentinel. When Daniel felt a wave of despair and cried, Max would gently rest his head on his lap, offering the only comfort he knew how to give. He couldn't speak, he couldn't call for help, but he stayed. And sometimes, just staying is the most powerful thing anyone can do. Then came the night Daniel had to go to the hospital. The flashing lights of the ambulance cut through the darkness. Men in white coats moved quickly and efficiently. Max barked frantically. He jumped. He tried to follow as they carried Daniel out. But the ambulance doors closed, and just like that, Daniel was gone. Max stood at the front door, alone again in the silent house. But this time was different. He wasn't just a lost puppy anymore. He was a dog with a purpose. Max found his way out. No one taught him how. No one showed him the path. He simply followed his heart. Or maybe something even deeper, an unbreakable bond. He ran through the dark streets, searching, sniffing the air. He ran through the rain and the wind, his paws pounding the pavement, until finally he found it, the hospital. And there by the entrance, he sat down and he waited. For 3 long days and 3 cold nights, Max waited outside. The wind blew, the rain fell, but he didn't move. Kind people passing by offered him food. Sometimes he ate a little, sometimes he didn't. Hospital staff tried to gently shoo him away, concerned for his well-being, but he always came back to the same spot. He refused to leave. He refused to give up, because Daniel had never given up on him. Then, one morning, the automatic doors of the hospital slid open. A figure stepped out into the daylight. It was Daniel. He was thinner and he looked tired, but he was alive and he was walking. Max saw him, and in that single moment, it felt like the entire world stood still. Then he ran. He ran faster than he had ever run before. He leaped into Daniel's arms, his tail a whirlwind of joy, his eyes shining with pure, unadulterated love. Daniel buried his face in Max's fur and wept. Tears of happiness, tears of gratitude. A nurse, standing nearby, quietly wiped her own eyes. An old man watching from a park bench broke into a wide smile. In that moment, everyone who saw it understood something profound and beautiful. A dog doesn't care about money. A dog doesn't care about your job, your status, or how popular you are. A dog doesn't care if you're rich or poor, successful or struggling. A dog cares about one thing: loyalty, a pure, unwavering devotion. And sometimes, a dog can teach us more about love than we could ever learn from anyone else. Because in the heart of every loyal dog, there is a love that never fades, a love that asks for nothing in return. A love that simply is. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the incredible bond between humans and animals. We'll see you in the next one.